Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to do another sewing project. I hope you don't get tired of sewing projects because my favorite things really to do are crochet and sew. So right now we seem to be doing a lot of sewing. What I thought would be kind of fun would be to make a jar gripper thingy. You know it's a little rubber thing you put on a jar and you grip it real tight to open it. We're going to make our own. And what you're going to need is a piece of scrap fabric that you think is really cute, would make you feel good to use it in the kitchen. And for me, I chose this little polka dotted thing. You're going to need to decide how big you want it. And then you're going to have to make sure you have the fabric to do it. I do. Plenty. So we're going to make it this big because I think that would be the perfect size to get over the top of a jar, bottle, whatever. So then what you need to do is get this grippy drawer liner stuff. You can get it at Walmart. I got mine at Dollar Tree. And it works really good. It's soft, it's pliable. I seem to like the stuff that's soft and pliable better than the stiffy stuff. So you're going to need to make sure you have enough to fit that. And we do. I'm using cotton thread on my sewing machine because it's going in the kitchen. My fabric is cotton, but this stuff isn't. But I don't anticipate it getting in hot areas anyway, other than a quick grip on a jar or something. I don't know. But just out of sheer habit. My fabric is cotton, my thread is cotton because it's going to the kitchen. It's just a habit I'm in. With that being said, let's get started making our jar gripper thing. Okay, I think what we want to do is we're just going to cut these two out together. And we're going to go with wrong side to whatever side for the gripper. Wrong side to whatever side for the gripper. Because we're not going to be sewing and turning this inside out. So, what we need to do is we need to put the right side of the fabric down, put our gripper shelf liner on top of it, and then put our grippy size pattern thing on it. We're going to cut, I hate to do that. We're going to cut this other stuff off just to get it out of our way. You're going to also need to make sure you have enough fabric that's going to go around here. So you either need to want to make sure your original fabric has enough leftover scraps or something contrasting, or even something totally off the wall. Doesn't matter, choice is yours. So let's go ahead and cut around this. You don't have to make this in a circle. You can make it in a shape, a triangle, an octagon, whatever you would like. I just choose a circle because, well, everything is a circle that you want to open. So it just kind of fits. But you can make it whatever shape you want to make it in. All right. We have our gripper. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, and now for this one, we're going to try and clean up all this raveling waste fabric off of it. And I think if we make it, well, we could get two out of here if we needed to, if one going around isn't going to be enough. So I think we'll just go ahead and cut this side of the trim off, or the waste off. None of this has to be perfect, just approximate. So don't worry about measurements and all this. The size of the circle is what you want it to be. And then the rest you just kind of make sure you have enough fabric. Okay, now what we need to do is take, because we have a raw edge here, we want to fold it back a little bit so that when we start out or end up, however it's going to be a finished edge. And we're going to take, and this is where it gets painstakingly tricky. You're going to use lots of pins at this point and just pin everything down, because you got to get this. Oh, we're going to have enough. That's good. You got to get this to go around the edge. All right. So you're going to have to just simply make it form. And this is what's going to cover up. I think you figured that out. But it's going to cover up this edge. So you want to take your time with your pinning, because however well you pin it on is how well the finished product is going to look. So I'll go ahead and I'll pin this on, and then I'll come back and we'll sew it on, and then we'll flip it over and sew the back side. We have it all pinned on. And I overlapped this raw edge here with a folded edge about 1 inch, so that when we fold it over, we shouldn't have too much conflict of interest there. Let's go ahead and sew this, and I think we'll go ahead and use the 1/4 of an inch seam again. That way it'll give us a little bit of leeway when it comes time to turn it. We'll start our stitching, and then we'll back stitch to support that initial stitch, and we'll just sew around the edge. Taking our time, because I'm sewing over all these pins, and we all know you really shouldn't do that, because you will at some point eventually hit that with a needle, and you will break needles, you will bend stick pins. But with a project like this, there really isn't much choice. So you just go slow and careful. There. Now let's go ahead and take the stick pins out. Okay, there's a lot of stick pins, but it takes a lot of stick pins. Then we're going to take, we probably should clip these seams just a little bit. I don't know if it's going to matter, but we want it to be able to move. So let's just go ahead and clip these all the way around, right up to the seam. However far apart you want to. You can make them 1/2 inch, you can make 1/4 inch, just so the fabric is able to move, maneuver. Being careful, of course, not to snip that seam. And if you do, don't panic. It's not the end of the world. Just go back on your machine and stitch where you snipped the seam, and it'll be fine. So now we turned it inside out. And you can see why we left that much of a turning thing here because of that. So what we're going to do now is just kind of hold it in spots with a couple of pins, making sure everything's laying flat. So we want to have it in place, but secure enough that we can work with it. When we get to here, we're going to want to make sure everything's tucked in where we need it to be. So far, it's looking pretty good. We'll take I always like to leave this part last because it's usually more difficult. And we'll fold this in to make a nice finished edge. And then as we go around, we'll take these stick pins and put them in here to hold it. Fold all that raw stuff in. All right, we have it all pinned down. So now we're going to sew about, well, we're going to try and keep right at to the edge of this where the fold is with our stitching. That's going to hold it down and keep it looking secure. We'll cut our strings off. And we'll remove all our pins. And there we have it. A nice little grippy thing that you can grip the top of a jar and open it. I probably could have used a brighter fabric because it would have been more cheerful instead of something that was pastels, but I think it'll work just fine. And again, when you want to wash it because it's soiled, flip it in the washing machine and let it air dry. It's a good beginner project because you have to sew around curves, and You sew through layers, but it's an easy project, and you'll have a useful kitchen tool to help you. I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you haven't, please think about subscribing to my channel and click the notification bell for the next time I post a video. You will be notified. Thank you for watching, and you have a good afternoon, and I'll see you again. Bye.